Hello guys, and welcome back to Autumn Elegy's Old School Runescape history. So we last left off in June, and I was about to start my first attempt at a fire cape, and this was the gear setup that I was planning to use. So as you can see, I had the proselyte on for the prayer bonus. I was primarily meleeing. I had a whip and also a halberd, and I also actually had an ancient staff and runes to cast a bloodburst spell. So my intention was to use bloodburst for healing, and then use melee for the entire caves. Use the dragon halberd to kill the 360s and Jad. I did do a bit of whipping on the 360s and just running back while flicking, but it was quite click intensive, and decided to use the halberd to kill them instead so that I could flick more easily and reserve my clicking energy and make sure I didn't make any mistakes. So this is what my high scores look like when I first started going for fire cape. I had 71 attack, 71 defense, 77 strength. As you can see, I had 60 ranged. I did not use range at all in the fight caves, and 66 magic. But yeah, I was in the ranked 750 in this screenshot, 1524 total, and the 80 agility, ranked 236 in agility. I think that's higher than my current agility rank at 99. So that's pretty interesting. And ranked 761 with 70 fire making. So I on my first attempt, I did manage to make it to the Jad wave. And that's the second level 360 you can see up in the corner over there. And I had the Guthan skirt on, so maybe this actually wasn't my first attempt, because I don't remember bringing Guthan skirt from my first attempt. But I failed. I was defeated, only got half the toggle. Yeah, this definitely wasn't the first attempt actually. I think I might have failed that like halfway through or something, I'm not sure. But yeah, I decided to bring a slightly different setup on this one. Looks like I failed again, unfortunately. Oh wait, no, I'm in the caves for this one, so it's getting close to Jad, I believe. Looks like. And there's Jad again. Went for another try, and we got it. So that kind of skips through some of the attempts. It actually took me 7 tries to get a fire cape with these stats. I was definitely not a master of doing fight caves, but I was fairly proud of the fact that I did fight caves with only melee and magic for healing at you know, like 70s in the melees, so that felt really nice. I got a fire cape. These are the exact stats that I got when I finished the fire cape. So I got a few levels actually in the caves. I got 72 attack, 78 strength, and a magic level as well. But these are the stats that I got a fire cape at, which is kind of interesting. And I was quite happy with the fire cape. I decided to take a second screenshot, I guess. And after that, for some reason, I decided to get all of the, I don't actually know how to pronounce, but I think it's Mjolnir or Mjolnir or whatever they are, spelled M-J-O-L-N-I-R, and you get these after you do the making history quest. I believe it's either making or meeting history, one of those, and then you can go and find them, and there's a lot of preset locations. I may have gotten rid of these. I don't actually think I still have them in my bank, but they're kind of odd, kind of cool items that nobody ever really has. Nobody really buys them or sells them and gets them because they're pretty much useless, but kind of random. Coming in with level 80 cooking off of swordfish. I don't know what the deal is with this, but for some reason I was cooking swordfish. Had 20 GP in my inventory. I guess that was probably from that random event right there. And I got myself level 80 cooking. Did a bit more skilling. Wearing the fire cape proudly. Got level 60 farming. And looks like I was in the middle of a farm run or about to start another herb run, and I managed to see Jabberwocky, who may have actually been rank 1 at the time, but either way he's very high in the rankings, and seeing a Slayer cape was absolutely crazy at that time, because this was still, you know, like June or July or whatever of 2013, so not too many people had the Slayer cape or the 126 combat, which is pretty cool. And I believe I was starting to work at the 70 plus all skills at this point. We're up in the quest point cape in this clip, but I got 70 fishing. I think I was actually going for 68 for a clue and decided to just get 70 to round it off. But yeah, as you can see, I was working on some other stats. I got 70 wood cutting, 70 magic. I did a bit of Slayer and was gradually working up to the Slayer levels. And this one I got level 62 Slayer. And this one's kind of funny. I saw this guy named Caleb X, and it's interesting because Caleb is obviously my real life name. And he was wearing fucking third age. He had his ranger hat. He had his farming cape. Had all these freaking crazy skills. I looked him up and he had like a bunch of nice 99s. It's like, god damn it, Caleb's out there that are better than I am. Made me jealous. But here's 70 runecrafting. I was pretty happy about that. Did 70 runecrafting off of laws, and I didn't train runecrafting again for quite a while until I started going for 99 the following February. But yeah, 70 rune crafting off laws, and made me a good 10 or mil or so plus, and that was really my most significant moneymaker after the black masks. And then 70 hunter coming in, another 70 skill. I guess I really was going for the 70s. Looks like I only had a few left. 70 thieving, and I bought myself full Guthans, and I think I used the money from rune crafting to buy myself full Guthans, which I was quite happy with. Not really efficient, but I wasn't really too concerned about it at the time, and I wanted it for Slayer since I didn't really plan to canon any Slayer task at the time, because I wasn't really interested in Slayer XP so much as just combat XP. I wanted to max my combats, and I actually wanted to get untrimmed hit points at the time. So I was planning to just train control all the way and do Slayer and see how far I got with Slayer. But I wasn't actually planning to do any canoning or anything like that. But I did do a bit more of the black mask, it seems. I believe this was my 9th and final black mask drop that I ever got. Sold it for less than half the price of the first one, which was a bit depressing, but still a decent 400k off of that. Coming in with level 65, farming off of a willow tree. What a beast. And this is actually kind of a funny little glitch. There's a chicken that spawns, I believe it just like spawns underneath the stall here, or somehow it managed to get underneath the stall. And if you kill it, which I for some reason decided to do, then its drops look like they're on top of the stall, and if you click on them, then your character like reaches forward to take them, just like as if they were on a table or something. But it's kind of an odd little glitch that happened right there, so I decided to take a screenshot. And I happened to be on a Lesser Demon's task, and I got a Lesser Demon Champion Scroll. And a funny story, about 6 months later I was going for Champion Scrolls in RS3, and Lesser Demon was the very last one that I got, and it was the one that took me by far the most kills, and it made me really, really angry that I had it on Old School, because it was the only one that I didn't have on RS3, and it was the only one that I had on Old School. But unfortunately it didn't really do much for me. Got me 592 Slayer XP and 592 hit points XP. Still boggles my mind that these Champion Scrolls are so terrible for rewards for how rare they are. Really think they could give like 10 times that much XP, even 100 times that much XP, and actually be fair. You know, 60k Slayer XP, I think that's fair for something that's 1 in 5k drop rate from Lesser Demons, and that's obviously the highest XP reward. They should seriously buff those, that would be cool. And this one I hit level, the 1600 total level, killing the yaks with my red D-hide like a beast, and the iron knives, I believe it was. Decided to go for 70 ranged and went with the slow option of iron knives at yaks because I didn't have the money to spend on chins or anything else. And I was talking to somebody while I was at yaks, and they were talking about Dagonoth Kings. And Dagonoth Kings I had never been to before. I still to this day have never set foot in the Dagonoth King's lair on RS3. The first time I ever went to Dagonoth Kings was on Old School, and I decided to give them a shot, so I brought my Slayer Dart. It's around level 70 magic or so at this point. And it's oh my god. I decided that I would kill Rex and see what I managed to get out of it. And the Dagonoth Kings is where I actually became fairly wealthy.